Good to go. This time we call this meeting to order, and for the record, can you state your name and your address, please?
Bradley Fuller, address is 3912 Burton Trail, Crystal Lake, Illinois 60014.
And for the record, this is the application of Bradley Fuller, and he is requesting a variation within the R1 single-family residential LN district to allow for a setback of 2 feet from the required 10 feet from the north lot line. The subject property consists of approximately 0.32 acres and is located at the northeast corner of the intersection of Burton Trail and Walnut Court. Common street address is 3912 Burton Trail, Crystal Lake, Illinois, Township of Nunda. Tax or PIN would be 15-19-455-016. The current land use designation is single-family residential, and the adjacent land use would be single-family residential to the north and south, vacant to the east and west, and the current zoning is R1 single-family residential district /LN, with adjacent zoning being single-family residential district /LN to the north, south, east, and west. 2013 plan designates this as residential environmentally sensitive area on the McHenry County land use plan, and the property consists of a 1- and 2-story frame residence, wood deck, wood fence, brick patio, and there is a portion on the eastern area of the parcel within the 100-year floodplain, and the applicant is hoping to get a residential addition added to the property. Anybody's going to testify, which might be you two. Can you raise your right hand to be sworn? Promise to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
I do.
Can you tell us what you're hoping to do today?
I'm hoping to add an addition to that northeast side of the property to better accommodate living space for my large family.
Okay. And how old is the existing structure?
The house, I believe, was built in the 50s, if that's correct. And I think that any most recent renovations were done in somewhere in the early 2000s. If that's fair. If I'm incorrect on that, please let me know.
Kim, how close is the existing structure to the property line?
The existing structure is a little over 3 feet from the building wall to the north lot line. It does sit on a slight angle, so the new addition would be slightly closer.
Okay. I guess that was my question, was it's not exactly parallel to the lot line.
Correct.
Okay. So the closest point to the lot line would be how far away?
It would be 3 feet, but with a 1 foot overhang is why he's requesting the 2 foot setback.
And what are the dimensions at this point for the structure closest to the property line?
For the setback, for the existing structure?
The existing structure right now. The front of the building, the back of the building.
Oh, yeah, so the front of the building where it's closer, I believe it says 3 feet 5 inches from the building wall. And is there a 1 foot overhang on that?
There is,
The
yes.
existing
There
house?
is, yes.
So it would be about a foot closer at the front of the addition than the existing residence.
You need young eyes to be able to see that, because that's a determination I cannot make.
It's okay.
Can you put up a picture of the existing building and the neighboring structure?
Yes, the aerial photograph
Yes.
on here, yeah.
Okay. So the area that is going to be closer to the lot line, the adjacent property would be vacant. Is that correct?
Alongside the addition, yes.
Okay. Have you talked to your neighbor about what you hope to do?
I have, in depth,
And what has your neighbor indicated?
that he has zero issues with it. Especially since the current structure was built when setbacks were much different, and he doesn't have an issue with the current structure or the proposed.
Your property is a little bit cattywampus, but as
It is.
I leave your property, get to the next road that's closer by the Fox River.
Mhm.
This has nothing to do with this hearing. Who owns that vacant lot?
Which one is that? I'm sorry?
You go parallel to your house, you go down the hill
Uh-huh.
and you head towards the river.
Yes.
There's a vacant lot there. With
On the river?
Yes.
Yes, that's mine as well.
That's why I say you're doing better than I am. I'm
Oh.
very jealous. That's very nice.
It's been a lot of work also. You can imagine abutting 3 roads with the property, especially one of them being an interesting, which was a previous easement for fire trucks to get water out of the river. You can imagine what mortgage companies and anyone who's interested has to say about an abutment of 3 roads, which is also part of the hardship I'm requesting as well because I'm abutting 3 roads. It's a little bit difficult. I have nowhere else to go.
How long have you owned this property?
I bought it, I believe, in 2011, I think it was.
Okay. And what's the highest the river's ever been?
Either 2012 or 2017, and it was probably right where that 100-year flood is.
Okay.
Which, if you notice that, I wish I could stand up and show you, but that line right there, yeah, that was, Riverside Drive was probably under a foot or 2 of water. Where that red line was, I just had in anticipation of me requesting the ability to even do this addition. A couple of years back, I redid my entire septic, which is right in that lower southern quadrant. So that was a fun, that took, the flood zones were all taken into account when that septic was built.
You anticipated my next set of questions.
I'm sorry.
No, that's fine.
Okay.
But the flood actually did cross over Riverside.
It did.
And the new septic's in place, so there's no issue with that.
Correct.
And the addition, will it have any impact on the existing septic?
0 at all.
Not on the septic, but the well would need to be relocated, correct?
Yes, the well will have to be relocated, correct. Just for your own curiosity. Has nothing to do with this hearing, however, in case you were curious.
I do have it up on the screen too, just so you know.
Come on.
I was prepared.
Really? Just in case you were curious, there's our 100-year.
Your flood.
Yep,
Okay.
and there was where we made the lines.
I'm surprised by that because you are still kind of elevated.
Correct. The elevation difference, I want to say it's 40 feet from the house to the river. So Chicago would have to flood for my house to flood.
So we don't have an issue with the septic, the well can be taken care of?
Yeah,
Yes.
you can see on the plan here where the well is located, and if this is approved, Mr. Fuller has indicated he would work with the health department to relocate the well.
Yes.
And because of the sight lines, there'd be no issue, no problem, of anybody driving up or down?
Right, the setbacks along the roadsides would be met, so I
Correct.
don't believe there would be any sightline issues.
Okay. Anything you wish to add, Sarah? She's usually very talkative. I'm kind of surprised by this.
No, I have nothing further to add.
Anything else that you wish to say?
No, as long as I answer all of your questions. That's my #1 goal.
We do have a couple of things that we have to address.
Sure.
This is the list of the standards.
I know you've answered these on your petition,
Yes, sir.
but we're going to see how good of a listener you are.
Okay.
Isn't it true that the particular surrounding shape or topographical condition of the specific property involved would result in a particular hardship upon the owner as distinguished from a mere inconvenience if the strict letter of the regulations were carried out? Isn't that true?
Yes.
Good answer. Isn't it also true that the conditions upon which the application for the variation are based are unique to the property for which the variation is sought and are not generally applicable to other property within the same zoning district? Isn't that true?
Yes.
This was an area that was subdivided or developed a long time ago.
It was.
And the rules were somewhat different than they are today, correct? And isn't it true that the purpose of the variation is not based exclusively upon a desire to increase the monetary gain realized from the property? Isn't that true?
Absolutely.
And if anything, this is going to take some expense to get everything in compliance with
Very
the
much
new
so.
well, et cetera, correct?
Yes, sir.
And isn't it true that the alleged difficulty or hardship is caused by the ordinance and has not been created by you, the owner, the person who presently has an interest in the property? Isn't that true?
That is 100% accurate.
Is it also true that the granting of this variation will not be detrimental to the public welfare or injurious to other property or improvements in the neighborhood in which the property is located? Isn't that true?
That is correct. It will not be of detriment.
And your neighbor has been talked to, he's aware of what you're doing, and he's in favor of the request?
Yes, sir. All neighbors involved.
Now I lost where I was.
You're on 6.
6.
Yeah.
Isn't it true that the proposed variation will not impair an adequate supply of light and air to adjacent property or substantially increase the congestion in the public streets or increase the danger of fire or endanger the public safety or substantially diminish or impair property values within the adjacent neighborhood? Isn't that true?
That is true.
And because your next door neighbor's property sits back farther from the road from your house and your proposed addition, you'll have no impact on the light or air to his property.
That is correct. I will have zero impact.
And what kind of a busy street is the street in the front of your property?
I have 2 streets in front of my property, so
And not Riverside, the other one.
it would be Burton Trail, or are you thinking Walnut, the one that goes in between my other 2 properties? If you look at the image.
The one that does not.
Burton Trail?
Yeah, what kind of traffic did you get on Burton?
Maybe, I could probably give you exact numbers, but it might be 20 cars passing daily.
Okay.
Whereas Walnut might be less than 1 car daily.
And with your new proposed structure so far off of Burton, you're not going to impede any sight lines of anyone turning right from Walnut onto Burton?
No, sir, not at all.
Isn't it true that the granting of the variation request will not confer on you, the applicant, any special privilege that is denied by this ordinance to other land or structure in the same zoning district? Isn't that true?
That is true, yes.
If a neighbor had a similar situation and made a similar request, do you believe that he should be granted that permission?
Yes, I would hope so.
Have really nothing else?
Nothing else?
Nothing else you wish to add?
Nope.
Okay. I would be in favor of your request. I did visit the property. You have taken very good care of it. I'm kind of jealous of the little pond you have going down the road.
Thank you. Also another lot of work that takes.
Extremely jealous of the vacant lot you have on the Fox River.
Thank you. Wish it was buildable, but I do also follow rules too, so.
Yeah, I don't see that this will be any problem. It's basically running close to parallel to the existing lot line. The neighboring property will not be impacted, won't be any difficulty with that, so I would be in favor. Mine is simply a recommendation, so this goes to the county board. The next meeting would be?
April 15th.
You do not have to attend that. You certainly can if you wish. And what time would that be?
7 p.m.
And where would that be?
It will be in the county boardroom down the hall here. You can also listen in or watch. It'll be streaming as well.
More likely than not, you would be on what's called the consent agenda with possibly a number of other items that they'll simply put it on for a voice vote.
Okay.
If you're on that consent agenda, more likely than not, it would get approved.
Okay.
If you wish to go to the meeting, you can go to the meeting. I don't know that you're allowed to necessarily speak. They certainly wouldn't ask any questions of you if you were in attendance. You can call Kim the next day to find out if it passed. Because I am approving this, you simply need a majority vote of the people who are in attendance that night. If I were to deny this, you would have needed a 3/4 vote, but you only need a majority.
Okay.
So
How many people are voting in the county
There's
level?
18 members.
Okay.
Yeah, so however many show up, you would just need a majority of that number.
Are those also individual members of the people that this was sent to? I saw there was like the township, there was a city.
No,
of these.
just the county board members.
Okay.
Mhm.
So it should be good.
Okay. Understandable. Thank you all.
Good luck.
Yeah, I appreciate it.